a word about CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference that started today, where not surprisingly, Mike Lindell is speaking. Now, this used to be a pretty significant event in politics. Major conservative leaders, thinkers coming to speak. But over the years, it's faced declining influence, some scandals, and a narrowing of what the conference is about. Instead of a place for any kind of real policy discussion, it's really become 4 days for extremists to, quote, own the libs. And that's literally how the attendees and organizers are billing it. That's not my description of it. Like today in a panel titled Catfight, Michelle versus Kamala. Seriously, that was the name. One of the participants referenced the far-right conspiracy theory that Michelle Obama is not even a woman, to the delight of the other participants and the crowd.
I would love Hillary Clinton to get back in the race. I think that would be fantastic.
Since Bill Clinton was our first black president, that makes her, technically, she would be our first black woman president, right? Yeah.
I guess so.
Well, and Kamala could be our first black woman president. And Michelle, well...
Look, to be clear, guys, to be clear, I want President Trump to run against Joe Biden.
So it's not hard to see why many serious national Republicans now stay away. It's mostly fringe players, some senators. I mean, Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville spoke this morning and claimed the election in 2020 was stolen.
We had a leader for 4 years, and they ran him out. They ran him out, and they're trying to keep him getting reelected this time. They stuffed a ballot box on him 4 years ago. We've got to get Donald Trump elected president of the United States. Folks.
And that Biden is a puppet with unknown forces pulling his strings.
It's just atrocious what this government's doing. Joe Biden's administration, it's not him. He doesn't know what day it is. But it's the administration that he's got.
Or what year he was the vice president, but let's not stop there, right?
Yeah. Well, let's go past that one, too. There's people behind the scenes running this show.
Matt Schlapp, the head of CPAC and the event organizer, said during his remarks that Trump is being tortured. Called Trump the victim of, quote, policies based on the world's worst dictators.
And keep standing up, because there's an important thing going on in our country in which the whole world is watching. And that is, there is a unique American who is being persecuted, who is being tortured, who is the victim of the democratic policies based on the world's worst dictators, whether it be Putin or whether it be Xi.
Look, some of it was silly, but actually kind of funny, right? They're selling bottles of woke tears. One of the sessions today was called Would Moses Go to Harvard? Another is titled Does Congress Even Matter? And speaking of Congress, Jim Jordan, part of a discussion titled What You Talkin' About, Fonnie Willis? A reference to Gary Coleman's catchphrase from the TV show Different Strokes. Kind of clever, right? But look, in the past, important discussions took place on the CPAC stage and in the conference's halls. Now CPAC attendees are basically just talking to themselves, riling up the audience, and it's too bad. Because on issues that voters care about, like the border and inflation, well, they could be trying to reach them with a smart conservative point of view. But CPAC 2024 is not that. Jack Posobiec, a far-right figure who traffics in extreme views, made a joke-ish at the Steve Bannon panel today.
I just wanted to say, look, welcome to the end of democracy. We're here to overthrow it completely. We didn't get all the way there on January 6th, but we will endeavor to get rid of it and replace it with this right here.
You know, he said it, of course, he's mocking coverage of CPAC, but looking at the agenda, you have to think about the old saying, many a truth is said in jest. And that's sort of scary and sort of sad. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.